Our first pitch of the day is a story about the boogie down Bronx. Everett Hamlet returns home from college to find that his favorite neighborhood park is being torn up and rebuilt. Asking why, he uncovers a troubling history of environmental neglect and reluctantly sets out on a journey for restoration and protection of our green spaces. This
Man, good morning, everybody. You know how we do. We have to bring a little bit of the Bronx here to Manhattan. You know. Quick show of hands. How many of you have heard that song before? Okay, everybody. Fun fact. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five dropped that track in 1982. And it took the Bronx by storm. But what puzzles me is that some of the issues that we faced when that song first came out, we're still facing to this day. Take a look.
Growing up in the Bronx, I think of community. We would hang out at the park, Lions Square Playground. We called it 75 Park. It was a hub. It was where the community met up. When I graduated from college, I chose to come home, to living with my parents. I'm going to the park. Coming home, I went outside and I'm walking around my neighborhood. I realized, whoa, why is this park caged up?
The de Blasio administration funded over $285 million to deal with 35 parks that needed some attention.
This is a good thing. I'm doing this documentary to figure out the history of the park and the future of this park.
I'm looking forward to it, but then again, I'm not, because, you know, with every construction, there's always destruction.
Half the time that this park existed, I've been in it. The area has definitely changed. The highway up top wasn't there. The bottom one was. They had just finished doing that.
The highway system created paths from the suburbs outside of the city into Manhattan. All of that has an effect on health and air pollution.
I sound a little funny because I had a surgery. It's a procedure where they correct the deviation of a septum. Gas and car, fuel, all these things. This is why I got a deviated septum. This is why most of my friends have asthma. This is why I was short of breath.
I can see Lions Square Playground falling into disrepair as directly related to the construction of the Bruckner Expressway.
It was still very much a thriving working class or middle class community until the highways were actually built.
The Bronx back in the 70s was like the Wild Wild West. You had a lot of killings here.
White flight started to happen. Communities with even just the presence of a Black or Latino community, it was considered blight.
Redlining is really the formalization of racist ideas around real estate because white people don't want people of color living in their neighborhoods. Our neighborhoods are exploited, right? So we start to see extraction of wealth. Unfortunately, there's a lot of interest at stake that doesn't want to see it dismantled. We're seeing gentrification happen all around us. Guess what? Redlining is a prerequisite for gentrification because you can't do that buy low, sell high unless your neighborhood's already been redlined.
Today we're bringing you what you all asked for, an all-new Lions Square playground.
I'm really happy that the park is reconstructed. However, I'm very leery and suspicious of the reasoning. I feel like our area is changing, people being pushed out of their homes because rich white people are coming into the neighborhood. I feel like they're doing that for them.
My father, who inherited the four-family home, was struggling with keeping the house. In the fall of 2021, that's kind of when everything just fell apart. We lost my childhood home. That's probably the hardest part of my life so far. That park was my world. It sucks to say, they didn't make these changes for me. Because if they made these changes for me, I would still be there.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm Everett Hamlet, and I am the director of 75 Park.
And I'm Craig T. Williams. I'm the producer of 75 Park, Harlem born and Bronx raised.
In 1984, my grandfather bought the house that I grew up in. And for those of you who are still thinking about Craig and I's dance moves, that was just 2 years after Grandmaster Flash dropped his song. 75 Park is a first-person documentary that dives deep into the environmental injustice of my neighborhood and neighborhoods like mine. What you just saw on that screen was probably the hardest thing I ever had to go through in my life. There was a ton of hard pills that I had to swallow. And those uncomfortable truths shook me to my very core. A lot of which the documentary uncovers changed me, changed my environment, changed my community. And I have not been the same ever since.
I met Everett more than 6 years ago, and I've watched this story grow and expand and become not just about Everett's park, but about his family, his neighborhood, his community. We're deep in the production process. Just one more interview to go with legendary hip-hop pioneer Grandmaster Flash, who used to plug into the lampposts at 75 Park and play. Looking ahead, we have very clear steps to our next move. We're asking for $150,000, and that money will go towards another pass from our fantastic editor, and it'll help to pay for the archival footage, some of which you saw in our trailer, and for the music, including an original song from Grandmaster Flash, all to get ready for our release and be able to distribute by the end of 2024. I'm excited about this moment. Screening 75 Park in 75 Park in the summer of 2025. I'm also looking forward to this moment. We're at a screening in Philadelphia or Oakland, and the lights come up and Everett's there, he's ready for the Q&A, and an enthusiastic hand shoots up in the air, and it's a mom of young children, and she says to Everett, "That's happening here in my city. That's my neighborhood, that's my street, that's my park." The opportunity that we'll have with this film to connect like-minded folks who share information and resources is thrilling for us. But we can't do this alone. With your support, we can make these moments happen.
But other moments are happening right now. All across New York City, all across America. We've all seen it. Parks and neighborhoods are being transformed without the input of the families who grew up there. For those very same families to be pushed out. 75 Park is a story that needs to be told right now. Because I don't want what happened to my family, my neighborhood, my community, my park to continue to happen. So thank you. Thank you, audience. Thank you, everyone watching on YouTube. Thank you, judges, for hearing us out today and aiding us in not losing our heads.
Nice job, Everett, Craig.
Thank you.